Ghana, a land of vibrant culture, warm smiles, and breathtaking beauty. But beneath the surface of this West African nation lies a painful past, etched in the remnants of its slave trade history. Scattered along Ghana's coastline are crumbling forts and castles, stark reminders of a time when millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes and sold into slavery. These structures, now UNESCO World Heritage Sites, stand as solemn monuments to the horrors of the transatlantic slave trade. Among the most significant of these sites is Cape Coast Castle, located in the central region of Ghana. This imposing edifice, once a major slave trading post, now serves as a museum and a poignant reminder of the human cost of greed and oppression. Its dungeons, once overflowing with captured Africans, now echo with the stories of those who were imprisoned within their walls. These ruins, though weathered by time, hold within them the stories of countless souls. They are more than just bricks and mortar. They are tangible connections to a painful past, urging us to remember and learn from the mistakes of history. The transatlantic slave trade, a period spanning over 4 centuries, left an indelible mark on the African continent. Ghana, then known as the Gold Coast, played a significant role in this dark chapter of human history. European powers, including the Portuguese, Dutch, British, and Danes, established trading posts along the coast, exploiting the region's resources and people for their own economic gain. These forts and castles, initially built for trade in gold, ivory, and other goods, gradually transformed into holding pens for captured Africans. The Europeans fueled tribal wars and encouraged the capture of slaves, paying local chiefs and intermediaries for human beings. Men, women, and children were ripped from their families and communities, marched to the coast in chains, and subjected to unimaginable cruelty within the dungeons of these coastal forts. The horrors they endured are difficult to comprehend, yet we must strive to understand this dark period to prevent its repetition. Cape Coast Castle stands as a particularly poignant symbol of the slave trade's brutality. Built by the Swedes in 1653 and later taken over by the British, the castle became a major hub for the trade of enslaved Africans. Within its walls, thousands of Africans were held captive before being shipped across the Atlantic to the Americas. The castle's dungeons, dark, cramped, and airless, were sites of immense suffering. Men were separated from women and children, stripped of their dignity and subjected to horrific conditions. Disease was rampant, and many perished within the dungeons before ever setting foot on a slave ship. Stories of their suffering are passed down through generations, whispered tales of resilience, despair, and the unbreakable human spirit. There is a palpable sadness that hangs in the air, a weight that settles upon visitors as they navigate the castle's corridors. These stories, though difficult to hear, are essential to understanding the full impact of the slave trade. While historical records provide a broad understanding of the slave trade, it is the personal stories often passed down through oral traditions that truly bring the horrors of this period to life. One such story is that of Aboa, a young woman captured in a raid on her village. Separated from her family, she endured the long and treacherous journey to the coast, where she was imprisoned within Cape Coast Castle. Aboa's story, though fictionalized, reflects the experiences of countless women during the slave trade. She witnessed unimaginable cruelty, the pain of separation, and the constant fear that permeated life within the castle walls. Another story speaks of a young man named Kwame, known for his intelligence and skill as a craftsman. Kwame's skills, which would have been celebrated in his village, were disregarded by his captors, who saw him only as a commodity to be traded. He endured months of captivity, clinging to the hope of escape and a return to his family. These stories, fragments of lives shattered by the slave trade, provide a glimpse into the human cost of this dark chapter. Today, Ghana's slave market ruins stand as stark reminders of the transatlantic slave trade. Cape Coast Castle, Elmina Castle, and other forts along the coast have been preserved as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, serving as museums and memorials. The Ghanaian government, recognizing the significance of these sites, has invested in their preservation, ensuring that future generations will have the opportunity to learn from the past. However, the task of preservation is ongoing. The passage of time, coupled with environmental factors, has taken a toll on these structures. Restoration efforts are crucial to ensure that these physical reminders of the slave trade continue to stand as testaments to the resilience of the human spirit. These sites are not merely historical relics, they are places of memory, reflection, and reconciliation. Visiting these places can be an emotional experience, a stark confrontation with the realities of the slave trade. Remembering to forget never the importance of preserving history. Preserving the history of the slave trade is not about dwelling on the past, but about learning from it. These sites serve as powerful reminders of the dangers of greed, intolerance, and the dehumanization of others. They challenge us to confront uncomfortable truths about our shared history and to acknowledge the lasting legacy of slavery. By preserving these sites, we honor the memory of those who suffered and perished during the slave trade. We acknowledge their stories, their resilience, and their humanity. We also recognize the strength and courage of those who survived, passing down their stories and keeping the memory of their ancestors alive. Preserving these sites ensures that their stories will continue to be told, preventing history from fading into oblivion. The legacy of resilience, hope, and healing from Ghana's past. While the legacy of the slave trade continues to cast a long shadow, it is essential to recognize the resilience of the African people. Despite the horrors they endured, they never lost sight of their humanity, their culture, or their spirit. The descendants of those who were enslaved have gone on to achieve great things, contributing to the arts, sciences, politics, and every facet of human endeavor. Ghana, a nation that has emerged from the ashes of its past, stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. It is a nation brimming with life, culture, and a deep sense of history. Visiting Ghana offers a unique opportunity to connect with this history, to learn from the past, and to celebrate the resilience of the human spirit. It is a journey of discovery, both personal and historical. A journey of understanding, encouraging visitation and reflection. Visiting Ghana's slave trade sites is not an easy experience, but it is an important one. It is an opportunity to bear witness to history, to pay homage to the victims of the slave trade, and to reflect on the importance of human rights and dignity. It is a chance to connect with the past in a tangible way, to feel the weight of history, and to emerge with a deeper understanding of the complexities of the world we live in. When you walk through the door of no return at Cape Coast Castle, imagine the emotions that those who were forced through it must have felt. Feel the weight of their sorrow, their fear, their hope, and let it be a reminder that we must never forget, never repeat, and always fight for a more just and compassionate world. Visiting these sites is not about assigning blame, but about understanding the past and using that understanding to create a better future. Breaking the chains of ignorance, a call for education and empathy. The transatlantic slave trade is a dark chapter in human history, but it is a chapter that we must not shy away from. We must educate ourselves and future generations about the horrors of slavery, the systems that allowed it to flourish, and the lasting impact it continues to have on our world today. This education must be rooted in empathy, understanding, and a commitment to justice. By confronting the past honestly and openly, we can begin to dismantle the structures of racism and inequality that persist in our world. Let us honor the memories of those who suffered during the slave trade by working towards a future where every human being is treated with dignity, respect, and equality. Let us break the chains of ignorance and create a world where such atrocities are never repeated.